All right, welcome to another episode of Day to Day Talks. We have a special guest today. The rain, sleet, and snow to get here. It was like an obstacle course. But we have the talented, the amazing voice. First of all, amazing talent. I don't like to use country music, but this is like a country music star. I like to say star because that's what she is. Kaylor Otwell. Did I get that right?
Sort of.
How do we say it?
Kaylor Otwell.
Kaylor Otwell.
Yeah.
All right, we have Kaylor Otwell here. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Awesome. This was awesome. We have to act like we don't know each other to give people the feel of the illusion of just, superiority.
So what was your name?
I think it's Jim, but today is going to be Brian.
All right. Okay.
All right,
We can go with Brian. I like that.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So what's up? So we got you here. You're coming off the leg of a show. You did a show at the Delancey, right?
Yes. This past Thursday, we did a show at the Delancey. It went really well.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm upset that I didn't make it to the show because I definitely would have been there. But amazing. What is like the whole atmosphere of the live performance? Do you like more of the live performance or more of just the recording and that's it?
I love them both for completely different reasons. I feel like it's really fun for me to connect with a crowd. I mean, the whole reason that I make music is to move people emotionally. So being able to like physically stand in front of the crowd and see how they're responding to it and change my delivery to go along with how they're responding to it, that's fun. And I've been performing, a very long time, so it's also comfortable for me. But recording is fun because that's where you really get to be creative.
Right.
When you're on stage performing, you've already figured out what you're going to do. So the recording process is the part where you get to determine, hey, let's try this. Why don't we do it like this? And it's a much more creative process, even though it's less engaging with the outside world.
Right. So awesome. So tell them a little bit of like, first of all, where are you from? Let's get there.
I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, born and raised, and I love it. I'm very proud. A lot of my music talks about how much I love my home.
Wow. How much of an influence is that where you from goes into your music, especially coming here to New York and seeing all the different genres and things like that? How good is it to say that, okay, I'm from Birmingham, Alabama, I'm from there?
I feel like it gives me some legitimacy, because there's people trying to be in the country music field from Boston, like that, just from anywhere.
Totally
and
not.
so I feel like I come by it honest. But country music is such a wide array of music within itself that I don't really identify as a country music artist in the sense of like the mainstream country genre. But I always like to say that Alabama is right in between the hillbillies in Tennessee and the swamp rats in Louisiana. So we have this like interesting blend of country and blues music, which is sort of like Alabama music. I don't know what to call it, but it's what you heard a lot, when Muscle Shoals was cranking out tunes back then with Aretha Franklin and Etta James. And so, it has a country twist, but it's not really country, which is why I call myself Americana. But up here, it's still so niche that everyone's like, oh, you're country. I'm like, sure, I'm country. That's fine.
And that's interesting because at the show, I didn't hear that. I heard just like, I don't know. I tried to categorize it. I'm like, because sometimes you'll get that country kind of like pop. Like it's country, but it's like pop. But then it's like country like soul until where it goes into those. So like I like the breakdown of like every song before you delivered it. You're like every song had a story. Every song had a origin to where it came from or what made you write it. And then some had some religious kind of undertones to it. As far as that, did you grow up extremely religious as a kid?
Yes. I was raised in a church that was very, what's a good word? It was just very isolated and tried to be very isolated. It had its own school, had like 5,000 members. So it was like its own little city almost.
Jeez.
And just really didn't have a lot of, affiliation with the outside world, and they didn't want you to.
Right.
So that's kind of, I think you're referring to my song Shadow of the Steeple.
Yes.
That song is sort of just, because I still consider myself a Christian and my faith is really important to me, but it's very different from the religious setting that I was raised in. It's more of like a spiritual, personal faith now than it is kind of what I was raised to believe. And so that song is like me kind of reflecting on how I was brought up and the ways that was damaging and the ways that I feel like I've kind of overcome it. So
right, like almost like a triumphant story, like
yeah.
More like, okay, this is kind of my height, like, okay, this is where I came from to where I am now.
Yeah.
So how important is it to kind of draw inspiration? And first of all, what is it like moving to New York City in general? Let's just talk how crazy it is compared to Southern hospitality, to no hospitality or consideration.
Yeah.
Just like give us the run through of like what it's like the change when you first got frightened getting here.
Right. So I moved here in January of 2017, right in the middle of one of the worst winters that New York had ever seen. And I like to say that it was like moving to a foreign country. And I've been to some foreign countries, like I've been to India.
Wow.
And I'm still saying that New York was one of the hardest transitions I've ever gone through in my life. And I think it's not just the fact that the weather was so much different and getting around is so much different because you don't drive, you walk everywhere, and that's a whole set of skills unto itself that I didn't have. Like, how do you pack everything and what do you do when it rains, which we figured out today. We still don't really know.
Yeah, we don't. Just get out there and figure it out.
That was really hard. Just day-to-day activities like getting groceries, doing laundry. That was a way of doing things that I had never experienced. And so the learning curve was really steep. But the thing that was the hardest, I think, is just there's a homogeny to the culture where I came from, where everybody's value set because it's pervasive in the culture. So family is extremely high priority. Convenience is an extremely high priority. Faith is an extremely high priority. You know these things about anybody that you meet. It doesn't matter, what other things have made up their upbringing. Those values are going to be the same.
Right.
So you can kind of predict how people are going to behave.
Okay.
And another thing about the culture is that everyone's looking out for everybody else. And up here, everyone's looking out for themselves, and you better do the same because no one's going to help you with anything. They're not going to hold the door. They're not going to help you pick up stuff if you drop it. They're not going to, it's just not
So dating
happening.
is hard for you then.
Oh my, don't even get me started.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it must be impossible then. You must have a couple of songs set up.
It has not gone well, I'll tell you that.
About a date.
Yeah.
How many dates actually make it to a song?
Oh, wow. Not many. I don't know. I've got obviously some breakup songs. I've got some love songs, but it's definitely not a one-for-one situation. It's not like I meet you and I'm going to write a song about you. It has to be a really significant emotion that I'm feeling. So it wouldn't happen anytime early in the dating process.
Right.
Unless I was just swept away. And that hasn't happened. So.
Oh, no.
But,
all right. So we put it already out there. You're already single. So this is going to be an interview and another interview because they're going to watch it and then say, hey, I see your interview.
Do you have bachelors behind a wall that we're going to start interviewing?
Well, actually, this whole wall moves and separates, and it's just guys.
Welcome to the dating game.
Yes, the dating experience.
Right.
It's a day-to-day thing we do.
Yeah.
So with that being said, and just the love for music, and I definitely can feel that you have a genuine sense of kind of I would say artistry and musicianship, like to where you are actually like engulfed in it. You're like, I like this sound, but this needs to go here. Like I can tell you're really into the production. Is that a true kind of guesstimate to say, okay, you're really into the production side of everything? Because even the breakdowns with the band, I'd see cues and I could see when this was the part that, really, all right, this is the part that's going to wake them up. We're going to bring everything lower, bring this higher. So how much of the production are you involved in with these projects that you're working on?
Yeah, well, the songs that you saw have all been really, I've been performing them for a long time. So they've been very workshopped and they have set arrangements that I would teach to a new band member, which I just had to reform my entire band post-pandemic. So this crew is pretty new, but I know what to tell them to do. Right. If I were to bring a brand new song in, which we are working on one brand new one right now, then it's a little more open to, let me see what you do, and we'll see if we want to keep it or not keep it. So as we're establishing those arrangements, I really like for the band to get to bring their creativity, because that's why I chose them, because I like their instincts. So, I might put it to them and just be like, just play what feels natural to you to play. Right. And then eventually it will become, all right, this is how we're going to do it every time. But the process of getting the band to put a song up on its feet is a little bit more organic.
So it's all about the feel and the energy in the room and the people, how they kind of play along with each other to complement the actual song.
Yeah.
Okay, that's awesome. So speaking of music, what do we have up next? Like what's next to be released?
So right now I am doing a project where I've gone back and taken some songs that I released in 2016, and I'm doing new versions of them. So I've had them completely remixed and remastered. I've even cut some new vocals on them, and I'm releasing them all as singles under my name, because I used to go under a different stage name. So I'm trying to like establish Kaylor Otwell as a brand with these new songs. And so I have one coming out in October, November, and December. So that's just to keep everybody entertained for a little while, because I have a full studio album that I've been working on for over a year and a half now.
Wow.
And that is where me and the producer are shopping that to labels and investors right now. So the hope is that it will not be an indie release. It'll be actually on a label.
Right.
And so the release date for that is kind of to be determined based off of how successful we are in the shopping phase. Right. But I just got the masters back. I'm so excited about it. Can't wait to bring it to the masses. But for now, if people like those songs, they just have to come see me live.
That's good.
Can't release them yet.
When's the next show?
So we are playing Bitter End on October 25th at 7 p.m. And we're really hoping to fill the room with people so that Bitter End is happy to book us again in the future.
That's right.
So yeah, that one is an important show that I really hope we can get a lot of people out to.
Yeah, we're gonna just loop this and do drops, and we're gonna get everybody to come out, and everybody's gonna show up, and then I'll be there, and my side. Then Rich coming, because Rich was gonna come to the last show.
Yeah.
But Rich, I don't even know what happened. What happened to the last show, Rich? I don't even remember. Oh, he was working. Rich is always working. So yeah. So sadly, yeah, we'll be at the Bitter End show though. We'll definitely come through. So Day to Day is a fun show, as you can see. We are completely without anything, but we have water.
What?
We have water today. But the next time you come, we'll have more. So usually do something, small segment. I don't know if you're a big sports fan. Probably not. Probably are.
Probably not.
But it makes people laugh. So we're going to do it anyway.
Okay.
So, basketball. Do you know the sport?
I know there are baskets, and people run back and forth on a court.
Like
and
Easter
they try to
baskets.
make baskets.
Not like Easter
Not on
baskets.
their own basket side, though. That would be bad.
Okay, so the opposite team has to shoot.
Yes, that's my understanding at least.
And you have to try to block it and stuff.
Yes, so it helps when you're tall.
Do you know, what's a basketball player? Do you know any?
I know some basketball players. I know Michael Jordan. I know LeBron James. I know Dennis Rodman. I know the really big names.
Dennis Rodman, that was an interesting one.
Look.
Most people never say Dennis Rodman.
Really?
But the fact that it was in your top 3 categories of where
he did
basketball,
a lot
Dennis
of
Rodman.
pop culture crossover.
Oh my goodness.
He was iconic.
He must have spent a lot of time in Alabama. It's why he wore a white dress for no apparent reason. That's probably why he was in Alabama. He probably came to your school for career day.
Yeah.
Like, who knew? It's just Robin.
You too can be a basketball star.
and a very rare guy that just hangs out and leaves the locker room.
Yeah.
So we usually do a segment where we have the guests to pick 5 of their top, musicians in the genre or artists, and they put them in certain positions. So for you, I'll simplify it, and I'll just have you pick your top 5 artists, and you tell me why they would be in your top 5.
Now, am I picking these based off of my favorite artists or people I think would be good at basketball?
No, it would be people that are good at basketball that would serve you on a basketball team. All right, let's do it. Let's do it even better. Let's do music wise. This is a concert you're putting together with yourself as the headliner, and you're gonna put 5 people on this to get a packed, sold-out show, the best show ever in life.
Yeah.
Go.
Oh my gosh. My favorite artist, period, the most influential artist is Patty Griffin.
Okay. And
she's like an Americana artist, so she never hit it big. She doesn't have any mainstream hits. So a lot of people don't know who she is, but she's just an incredible songwriter, really, really heartfelt. I always call her my soul mother. Because I feel like everything she sings came out of a page in my journal. It's just, I've never felt so much kinship with an artist before, so she'd have to go on there because she's just phenomenal. But then if we're trying to pack the house,
Yeah.
we got to get Rihanna in there. First
Okay,
of all.
nice.
I mean,
Okay.
you know, just amazing. Just did the Super Bowl, has a discography to put everyone to shame. Like,
Yeah.
she's going to pack the house.
She does
we got to get
a
Rihanna
really
in there.
amazing. Yeah.
Who else do we want to put in there? Let's see. Who do I love to listen to lately? I mean, are we just doing artists or are we doing bands?
You can do bands.
I'm a big fan of Coldplay, and I
Okay.
saw them live last year.
We
and
messed
that
with
was one of
Coldplay
the
on
best
this side.
shows I have ever seen.
We know Coldplay.
Yeah,
lot.
I went to their what's the the Music of the Spheres.
Yep.
I went to the Music of the Spheres tour, and the pyrotechnics, the production value, it was one of the best concerts I've ever seen, just because of what they did with it. So, like, I would want their team to design the concert.
Okay.
And they can be there too. All right, so we got 3.
Yep. 2 more.
Let's see. This is tough. We're running it
this
down.
is we make it hard here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Current artists. I mean, if we're talking about record-breaking audiences, I myself am pretty neutral about this artist, but to pack the house, we should get Taylor Swift there.
Oh my goodness. T Swift, you have to.
I mean, come on.
you have to.
As soon as she shows up somewhere,
That's it.
The
And she's gonna do a 3-hour show.
So yeah, so we'll get her there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do admire her a lot as a songwriter and a businesswoman. So
Yes.
I think she'd be a great addition to the team. Who else? Let's see. Who do we want to put in there? I feel like we need some male energy. So
Okay. Could be an all-woman tour. It's fine.
it could be. Well, we got Coldplay.
Oh, we got Coldplay.
I got
Oh,
Coldplay.
yeah, Coldplay. We do.
Who else do I want to hear right now?
Who are you listening to right now?
Who am I listening to right now? Well, okay, I just went and saw the Eagles' final tour like a couple nights ago. So I've got them on the brain. I'm listening to their greatest hits right now, and they gave a great show.
Do we want to make them 5?
We might want to make them 5 because after seeing Joe Walsh do his electric guitar at whatever age he is right now, and
what is he, like 80?
I don't know. He still had all the notes too, and he's one of their higher registered singers.
Wow.
Like they started out that show with 7 Bridges Road, which all a cappella, like 4 or 5 part harmony.
Show? Wow.
They all sounded amazing. And his guitar playing skill, I was just jaw dropped the entire time. Especially at his age, it was impressive, but it was impressive anyway. So yeah, we'll put the Eagles in there.
Wow. You have a phenomenal show.
Yeah.
Like $1 gazillion.
That sounds like a great show.
It's like $1 gazillion. And who would you perform with at that show out of one artist?
Who would I perform with? Patty. Oh yeah,
Patty.
I know every word to every one of her songs, and if I could sing harmony on it before I die, I would be so happy.
Wow, Patty, we have to make that happen.
Yeah, we do. I'm vying for her label because then maybe we could go on a tour together.
Label mates.
Label mates, yeah. She's with 30 Tigers, so
she is.
I'm hoping that maybe I can get 30 Tigers interested.
That would be amazing.
And then I can be like, can I open for Patty Griffin?
Or just suggest it. So I think this would be a good look for her.
I mean, she's my number one influence, so I know our music sounds similar.
I know every single song she wrote.
Every single song.
I'll actually perform as her, and then she comes out after 3 songs into the set and then take over for me.
Right, exactly.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think that works.
Yeah, it's a dream concert. We got some great musicians.
So we got new music on the way. So the studio album, we're going to shop it, get it to labels. Do you have a date on that yet, or you're?
I started recording this in February of 2022, so it's crazy to me that it's not out yet. But it's just been something I'm trying to tell myself. You know, if you're patient, then this can be heard by so many more people.
Yeah, not uncommon though.
Yeah, because
So
I mean,
totally.
if it were me, I'd release it tomorrow. I want people to hear it.
Yeah.
But I want as many people to hear it as possible. So I feel like if I can just be patient and wait for the right opportunity to release it, more people will hear it. So I have no idea. I would love it to be released in 2023, but it's kind of looking like it might be next year before it's actually released.
Okay.
I might get a single out this year. So we'll see.
Yeah, let's definitely look. And I went through your catalog of things you kind of reposted and kind of done, and it's great. it's a good body of work.
Thank you.
I became a fan when when you were like kind of like, because that was like tin cans. Everybody like saying tin cans, and I'm like, what's the tin cans?
Yeah.
You know, so I'm like, who are the tin cans? And they're like, it's her, it's Kaylor. And I'm like, what? And then I listened to it, and I'm like, oh, that's so amazing. And I was like, I didn't know you sing. And that was like the whole fandom thing. Like, I didn't know. Like, why didn't anybody tell me? It's like that. So now we got those projects coming out, and what are you anticipating far as like, let's just say, far as, are you considering any collabs with any artists that, you know, just known or kind of like undiscovered? Any collabs that you really want to work on?
I have a friend here in New York named E.W. Harris. He does kind of what he would refer to as folk adjacent or experimental folk music, where he does songs that essentially are written on an acoustic guitar and could be performed that way, like as singer-songwriter songs. But he's also really into electronic music, so he does a lot of production add to it. You know, he has like a DJ stand with all sorts of different doodads on it that he plays live with. And so his music is really unique. Storytelling is beautiful. He's got an amazing voice. So once we became friends, I kind of wormed my way into his band.
It's good.
I was like, do you want me to maybe sing some
New York
harmony on this?
taught you a lot.
Yeah. So very often when he performs, at least with his full band, I sing with him, and would love to do some collaboration with him in a recording space, either on his stuff or my stuff, or, you know, us co-writing or something.
Right.
So that's a collaboration that I'm thinking about currently. But, you know, I grew up doing harmony. I was a choir girl all my life, so I've been in probably over 20 choirs before in my life. And, you know, grew up in church too, so I sang a lot of harmony on Sunday mornings.
So you know Sister Act 2 whole soundtrack.
That's right. I've done those songs in choirs before.
Everything. Yeah. All of them.
I've had the Lauryn Hill line, so
man, we gotta recreate all this.
Yes.
This movie's amazing.
I love harmony, and really any artist that I admire, I'm more than happy to put harmony and background vocals on for them. Okay. So collaboration's always something I'm interested in.
Nice. Okay. So you have collaborations and you have things going on in that realm and space. Are you open to songwriting? Are you doing songwriting for others rather?
No, I pretty much write for myself and by myself. Okay. In the past, I've had a couple of people that I felt musically connected to enough to co-write with them, but that's really rare for that kindred spirit thing to come along and make me feel like I want to share that with somebody, because songwriting is very emotionally intimate for me, and that's a very intimate thing to share with someone that you don't feel really connected with.
Right.
But that's part of why I didn't love being in Nashville, because it's so much the currency of the city is like, who are you writing with? And people wake up in the morning and go to 3, 4, 5, 6 writing sessions a day, just hawking their music writing skills to everybody that'll pay attention. And that was not how I operate at all. So I didn't know how to participate in that scene.
Right.
Because you have to kind of just click with me for me to want to do that with someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. I think it's incredible, your journey and just the whole music scene, and just being a true performer is also very important and eccentric to like everything going on, because nobody does anything live really anymore. Sad to say.
Tough.
Or they sound really terrible live. I didn't say that, but you know, it's the truth. So yeah, more fun games. Are you ready to play the Hot or Not segment?
I was going to say, do I have to know anything else about sports?
No. This is all based on random things that come to my brain that you pick between the two.
I think I can do this.
All right. So these are not going to be anything that you probably would know or love, and you're going to have to pick one or the two. All right. So, pop music or country music?
Pop music.
All right. Rock or rap?
I need to know the era of rap to answer that. So I'm
90s.
90s rap. Yeah.
90s rap?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have Alabama or Nashville?
Alabama.
All right. We have New York or Texas?
New York.
All right. We have Rihanna or Beyonce?
Rihanna.
We have Jay-Z or Nas?
Jay-Z.
All right. We have Brooklyn or Queens.
Now, you know I have to say Queens. I have to represent.
You're in Brooklyn, though, so.
Well, you brought me here.
All right, so we're going with Queens. All right, so we have chopped cheese or Philly cheesesteak.
I have not yet had a chopped cheese.
I've heard
tales of chopped cheese.
What?
I'm
bringing you a chopped cheese.
I was gonna say I'm gonna.
Matter of fact, we're gonna order tomorrow. We're gonna order a chopped cheese.
I'm gonna pick it anyway because I've heard such good things about it.
Really? You never had a chopped cheese?
Never had a chopped cheese. And one time a Philly cheesesteak gave me food poisoning.
What?
So I'm
From
picking
where?
chopped
In Philly
cheese.
or out here?
It was in New Jersey.
Oh no, that's horrible.
That was the
You
problem.
should have just drove the other hour, just with the Ishkabibbles. This is horrible.
Yeah.
You shouldn't even had it from Jersey. Just the air quality in Jersey just changes as soon as you drive in. You're like...
It was 2000, okay? The Twin Towers still stood.
Oh, my
I didn't know
goodness.
what I was doing.
Woo, obviously not your stomach for that one.
No, I remember
That
it like it
is
was yesterday.
Insane. Live music or studio?
Live music, you know? I'm going to 2 concerts this week. I love live music.
All right. And the last one would be podcast or radio?
Podcasts.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you're working on a podcast. That's what you said?
No.
No?
I listen to a lot of podcasts, though.
I thought we were going to get you to do a podcast.
I mean, I'm doing one right now.
Yeah, we're trying to get you to do your own so we can sponsor it.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So it can be powered by Go Inc.
We can talk. Yeah.
All right. So me and Rich, we're going to draw up the papers before you leave. Just sign it. Don't look at it. Just sign it. You're going to put some stuff on the paper. You're just going to sign.
I have a friend. We talk every now and then about starting up a podcast.
Do it.
Yeah.
It
wouldn't be music related, but
no, it's so much more.
Yeah.
I feel like you're suppressing so much more you want to say.
But I have so much to say.
I know. Like the dating life in New York.
Well, there's that.
Is it pee in the pool?
That would have been an element of this podcast. But then it's also it's a friend of mine who grew up in the same sort of religious structure that I did. So it's kind of like a commentary on how that influences the way we see life. It's like a lighthearted podcast idea, though.
I think you guys should come and do a test run next week and come here.
Well, they live in Atlanta, but
get them to come up.
Okay.
Yeah, just fly them out. There's nothing going on in Atlanta. Tyler Perry's busy. Like just come on to New York.
Yeah.
But yeah, honestly, yeah, you guys should, and we should talk about the logistics of it.
That would be fun.
Awesome. This was amazing. I do appreciate you taking the time to sit down with me and, just talk about your journey and your music and everything coming up. If you could leave the people with something, what would you leave an inspiring musician, artist with living in New York to kind of light a fire?
I mean, the number one thing I would tell someone is to go to live music and engage with the people you just saw. Go to local shows, go to songwriter showcases, and engage with people there, because that's how everything works. You have to know other people. If you want to play a gig, a lot of times they want you to bring other acts and fill an entire bill. You got to know those people. You got to have camaraderie with them. So, I always say an artist's love language is going to see them perform.
Right.
It's the number one way you can show love. So if you're thinking about trying to ingratiate yourself in the music community, you got to go watch. You can't just perform. You have to watch.
Awesome. And when's your next show?
My next show is October 25th at the Bitter End at 7 o'clock.
All right, everybody. Make sure you make it out to the Bitter End. So it was great having you.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me.
Had a fun time. Normally we're a lot more elusive, but we're drinking water today because it's raining outside. But, it happens. So another episode of Day to Day Talks. Kayla in the building, and we're out.